Before you continue with your day, take a moment, slow down, and listen carefully, because God has a message for you today. You have spent too much time believing that nothing is changing. Too much time looking at your current circumstances. Too much time focusing on the struggle, the delay, the disappointment, and the closed doors. But God is saying today, I am elevating you. You may not see it yet, but your season is changing. The things that once held you back will not hold you back forever. The obstacles that seemed impossible will not remain impossible. The limitations that surrounded you will not define your future, because when God decides to elevate someone, no person can stop it, no obstacle can prevent it, and no opposition can cancel it. Psalm 75 verses 6 and 7 says, "Promotion does not come from the east or the west or the south. God is the judge. He brings one down and exalts another." Your promotion comes from God, not from luck, not from human approval, not from circumstances, but from God. That means when God says it is your season, nothing can stand against His plan. Many of you have been through difficult seasons, seasons that tested your faith, seasons that challenged your patience, seasons that stretched your trust in God. And there were moments when you wondered why life seemed so difficult. But God is saying, the struggle was not punishment, it was preparation. Before Joseph reached the palace, he went through the pit. Before David sat on the throne, he spent years in obscurity. Before Esther wore the crown, she went through a process. And before God elevates His people, He often prepares them in private, because elevation without preparation can become destruction. God cares more about your character than your comfort. He cares more about who you are becoming than what you are receiving. And during this season, He has been strengthening you, teaching you, growing you, and preparing you for what comes next. Some of the lessons you learned through pain could not have been learned any other way. Some of the wisdom you gained through waiting could not have been gained through comfort. And now, God is saying, you are ready for the next level, not because you are perfect, but because you have remained faithful. You kept praying even when answers were delayed. You kept believing even when circumstances looked impossible. You kept moving forward even when you felt discouraged. And God sees that faithfulness. Nothing you have done in obedience has been wasted. Nothing. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." At the proper time. Not according to human timing, but according to God's timing, the harvest arrives. And for many of you, the season of harvest is closer than you realize. God is elevating your thinking, elevating your faith, elevating your vision, because before God changes your situation, He often changes your mindset. You cannot step into a new season while holding on to old beliefs. You cannot walk into greater opportunities while constantly expecting failure. You cannot receive God's promises while living in fear. That is why God is renewing your mind, teaching you to see yourself the way He sees you, not as defeated, not as forgotten, not as unqualified, but as chosen, loved, and called. Some of you have spent years feeling overlooked, watching other people move ahead, watching other people succeed, wondering when your opportunity would come. But God is saying, your season has not been canceled. Just because your journey looks different does not mean it is less valuable. God writes every story differently, and your story is still unfolding. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says, "Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles." Notice that image. Eagles rise above the storm. While other birds seek shelter, The eagle uses the wind to rise higher. And God is saying, the very things that tried to break you will become the things that elevate you. The disappointment, the rejection, the waiting, the struggle. God is using all of it to build strength inside you, to prepare you for greater responsibility, to prepare you for greater influence, to prepare you for greater blessing. Do not fear the next season. Do not fear the changes that are coming. Do not fear the opportunities God is placing before you, because if God is opening the door, He will also provide the grace to walk through it. Sometimes elevation means new opportunities. Sometimes it means healing. Sometimes it means peace. Sometimes it means freedom from things that have weighed you down for years. Not every blessing is financial. Some blessings are emotional. Some blessings are spiritual. Some blessings are relational. And God knows exactly what you need most. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That future is still ahead of you. That promise is still alive. And God's plan is still unfolding. The enemy wanted you discouraged, because discouraged people stop expecting. But God is restoring your expectation, restoring your confidence, restoring your hope, because what is ahead is greater than what is behind. Today, lift your eyes higher. Stop focusing only on your current struggle. Stop measuring your future by your present circumstances, and begin trusting God again. Because He is working, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, even when nothing appears to be changing. God is working, and He is elevating you to a higher level of faith, a higher level of peace, a higher level of purpose, and a higher level of blessing. If this message spoke to your spirit, comment, "God is elevating me." And remember, the God who brought you through every previous season will also lead you into the next one. Trust Him. Your elevation has already begun. Amen.